So in yesterday's class, we discussed all other basic concepts as well as switch statement also. Switch statement and loops both we discussed. Next, one more jumping statements are there. What are the things are available in? Again, three things. In the two are very important. One is goto, second one is break, third one is continue. So go to, break, and continue. Total three things are there. First one, what is the use of go to? If I want to move my cursor from one place to another place, then go to is going to be used. That means console dot write line one, two. So if I want to move, well, first let me execute this program. Properties, jump statements. Here, when I execute this program, then my output will be displayed as 1, 2, 3. So all the statements they are executing one after another. So if I want to move my cursor or if I want to jump the cursor from one place to another place, then I'm going to use this go to. Suppose go to, give some specific label, any label name. But whatever label name you are giving, that label name should not be any standard keyword. So go to test. Somewhere in the program, I had given that label also. Somewhere in the program, I had given that label name also. Done. So to this test label, it will jump. So first one, it will print. From that, after printing that one, it will jump the cursor from that line to third line, and it will print that 3. See, 1 and 3 through two things are coming. 2 is skipping that because I am I'm moving my cursor from this position to this position. In middle, whatever statements are there, all those will be skipped. This is one way to move the cursor from one place to another place. And one more is there. What is that? Break. So this can be done very easily. I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. And here I'm giving console dot write line. I'm printing the value I plus. Generally, how many times this will be printed? 5 times. Right? I value 1, I value 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times it's going to print. So I'm giving some condition. If I equal to 3, then break this process and loop outside console dot write line. Done. Something like this. Now when I run this, when I equal to 1, it will print. I equal to 2 also it will print. But when I equal to 3, break statement came. So break is a keyword which is used to terminate the process, but not the whole program. Which block inside you are, from that block, it will comes out, but not from the whole program. Many people will confuse here only. Break is a keyword which is used to stop the process, not the complete program. So here when I equal to 3, you said break. That means it will stops the process there and it will jumps to outside of our block. Outside of our block, what statement is there? Done. So that statement it will execute. That's why I equal to 1 is printed, I equal to 2 is printed. After that, done message it shows. And last and final, continue. Let's take the same thing. Copy, continue. This is little different. Continue. Then when I run this, see, when I equal to 1, it will print. I equal to 2 also it will print. But when I equal to 3, what happened? It skips that iteration. Whatever I equal to 3 iteration is there, only that particular process it skips. Remaining all statements it executes. So I equal to 1, I equal to 2 it done. I equal to 3 only it skips, but I equal to 4 and 5 it continues. So continue is very, very important. Like I'm having set of employees. Except managers, I want to do some functionality for all other kind of employees. Suppose my requirement came, I want to give hike to all people, all of my employees, but except managers. So except managers, remaining all for all people, I want to do some transaction. In such scenarios and all, continue will plays a major role. That is very easy to do that work. Okay. Any questions? Difference between break and continue is clear.
One small question, ma'am. Uh, if I'm using if or nested if statements, can I use break over there? Like I have seen, like you initially used it with case and break statements.
Yes.
So can we use this anywhere?
Anywhere. Where I used, I'm not using in switch statement, right? I'm using in loops. So it depends upon our requirement. Actually, this concept I have to tell before switch. Why? Because we should know first break. So break can also used in switch statement. That's it. But break can be used in any way.
Okay, thank you.
Others, I'm getting only one voice. Okay. Then let's move to next. Those are nothing but arrays. What are the use of arrays concept? Suppose if you take till now how many programs we have done. Let's take one selection statements. If I take this program here, leave about that logic and all, but basic thing, write a program, read five numbers and do something. But when they ask read five numbers, when they ask read five numbers, then I have to write the logic. I have to write the logic for five lines because for each variable, each console.readline is there. If it is five variables, five console.readlines. If it is 10 variables, 10 console.readlines we have to give. That is very, very difficult process. That is very, very difficult process, right? So if it is five numbers, okay, you can write it very easily. But imagine if it is 50 numbers or if it is 100 numbers, how you are going to write? It is very difficult process, right? Then arrays are came into picture. So same definition I will say, which we discussed in our C language. Arrays are used to store same type of data in a sequential order. Arrays are used to store same type of data in a sequential order. So if I want to use these arrays, if I want to use these arrays, then again different types of arrays are there. Single dimensional array, two dimensional array, zagged arrays, multi-dimensional arrays, like many types are there. But always arrays are used to store same type of data in a sequential order. And if I want to specify the size of an array, that is the main difference between C language and C sharp. In C language, array size can be specified at compile time, and in C sharp, array size you can specify at runtime. That means at compile time, you no need to specify my array size is like this. At runtime, whatever value you are giving, that you can use this. And one more important, because array size you are giving at runtime, so for the array, the memory will also allocated at runtime, because at compile time I don't know what is the size of my array. Right? Because of that reason, runtime, whatever size you are specifying, based on that, the memory is going to allocate. This is very, very important difference between C language arrays and C sharp arrays. In C language, array size we are specifying at compile time. Because of that reason, for the array, memory allocation is also done at compile time. But here we are specifying the array size at runtime. Because of that reason, for the array, memory location will also allocated at runtime by using a new keyword. By using a new keyword. Let's see how to do that. Again, in this arrays, so many types are there. Single dimensional, two-dimensional, multi-dimensional, jagged arrays, like that, so many things are there. First, let's see the single dimensional arrays. But I'm not saying this is not an important as well as important also, because other than these arrays, we are having one more powerful concept called collections. In collections and all, it's very easy to handle that. Okay, let's see what we can do. So first let's start with a single dimensional array class. Array demo1. Now static void main. Yesterday I sent notes. I think all of you are received. Anyone not received, please let me know. Static void main. Then if it is single dimensional, the memory will be represented like this. Only the number of columns. This is your array A, and this array A is representing with 0 rows, and columns are how many you want, that you can define. But array index always it starts with 0 only. Array index, whether rows or columns, whatever it is, it starts with 0 only. And this particular block is called as A of 0. Same in C language, how you learn, same. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, like that. But the whole name is called as A. And in single dimensional array, only we are representing the columns. Rows will be always 1. Let's see how to do that. First, int. Suppose if I want to read a number, then int A you are giving, A equal to 10. Like this you can give, or int A equal to convert dot to int 32 of console dot read line. That means either you can give a static value like this, or you can read the data from runtime. Anything, both are valid, right? Now, in the same way, if I want to declare an array, single dimensional array, how? Empty braces of ARR. Now, this is an single dimensional array. So, here we can say this is an integer variable. Here, this is single dimensional array variable. Single dimensional integer array variable. This is the correct one. Okay. And either if you want, you can specify the size of this here only. How? Int empty braces ARR1. ARR1 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Directly you can give like this. At compile time only you are specifying the size. Or you can use console.readline also. In this case, you no need to specify the array size and all. But in this case, if you want to give the values at runtime, then ARR is equal to arr is equal to new int of. You have to specify how much of memory you want to allocate. So this step will be done at compile time. This step will be done at runtime. So before that, console.writeLine, how many elements you want to enter, how many numbers you want to enter. Count equal to, and now whatever count value you are giving, those many memory locations I want to create. And I want to ask the elements console.writeLine enter numbers. And now if you observe the memory, a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, like that. So arr of I is equal to this. But what is that I? That I value for int I is equal to 0, I less than count, I plus plus. That's it. So when I equal to 0, whatever number you are giving, that will store in that a of 0. And I equal to 1, whatever next number you are giving, that value will store in a of 1. Like that, the I value is increasing. So each and every element I am storing in my array. And if I want to print the list, console.writeLine, the list is again for loop, and console.write I will use, because if we are having many numbers also, plus arr of I. That's it. And last, console.writeLine to move to next line. That's it. Now let's run this program once. How many numbers you want to enter? 5. 5 is showing the empty value. Okay, here I gave console.readline. Okay, how many numbers you want to enter? 5. The list as it is, it's shown. The memory representation also like this one. All columns, no rows. I mean only one row. Once go through with this code, I will be back in 2 minutes. No questions, right? Now, you might feel that, ma'am, this program is very straightforward and very easy to run this program, and very easy to understand also. This is also easy. But if it is 5 numbers, then this program is easy. But if it is 50 numbers, this is not so easy. Then if it is 50 numbers, here this count value, if I gave 50, that is enough. So always, if bigger values, then always arrays will come into picture. If smaller values, then whatever we had learned, directly we can do. One number, two number, or three number, then directly we can do like this. But if it is 20 numbers, 30 numbers and all, that you can't do here. Like this you can do. So here how many arrays I created? 2 arrays. So after that, two arrays. One directly I gave the value. Second one, at runtime I defined the value. So with the help of new keyword, I allocated memory for this array. So because of this reason, arrays are comes under reference type of category. If arrays are comes under reference type of category, yesterday when I'm explaining loops, one loop I left. What is that? For each loop. What I said about for each, generally for each is used for reference type of data. Now can I use that for each in this means? Yes, you can do. Suppose if I want to print this list, console.writeLine, the given list is, and for each int number or int item in ARR1, and console.write I will use plus item. That's it. This is very easy process. And here I'm giving, and here I'm giving slash n, because write means it will stay in the same line. See, the given list is here. Am I used for loop? No, for each. So what for each means, in this for each you no need to give initial value, you don't need to give any condition. From this array, how many list is there, fetch one after one another item in this item variable and do some work. After that, fetch next item, do some work. Like that it will do all this process until this array element found, means until from this array if you got a null value. Once you got a null value, it will comes out of that program. I mean, it comes out of that block. Okay. So generally for each, how it is going to do means, it will fetch one element after another element from that. Once all elements are done, once all elements are done, once you got a null from this particular variable, then it will stop that process. But in value type of data, you can't store a null value, right? Because of that reason, for it we won't use it for value type of data. Keep remember. Next. Then in C language, we are having so many arrays programs. Binary search, linear search, sort, reverse, copy, like that so many programs are there. So all those things we have to do here also means no. Why? Because Microsoft had given all these things in the form of methods. All these methods are available in this array class. This array is available in system. So array dot, see, copy, binary search, clear, reverse, like so many things are there. Suppose I want to do reverse of ARR. That's it. Array reverse is done. No, no, ma'am, I want to check array reverse is happened or not. Means, let me print this list again after reverse. This time I won't use for loop, for each, where item. Even you
Okay,
can
what
use
do you mean by value type? Like, can you give some examples of it?
integer, float, char, all these things are comes under value type.
Okay.
Yesterday I showed one table, right? In that value type, reference type, you opened or not? Right. Value type, reference type. See, class, interface, arrays, delegates, all these things are comes under value type. Sorry, reference type. And int, float, char, enum, struct, nullable types, all these things under comes under reference. Sorry, value type. Okay.
Okay.
So
So under a array is not a value type; it's a reference type.
because here we are allocating the memory using a new keyword, right? So
Yes.
to identify that very easily, what is value type, what is reference type means, always for reference type, the memory will be allocated at runtime using a new keyword.
Okay.
Now, um, what we are saying for int item int arr. Then from that arr, I'm printing one by one item. Now array reverse is done. And now if I want to sort the list, arr array dot sort. That's it. Arr. Sorting is done. You don't need to do any extra things here. So after sorting the listing, after reverse the list is now run. How many elements you want to give? 6. This is my exact list what I had given. This is in reverse order. This is in sorted order. How many lines I had written? Only one line. The same thing in C language and all, you have to write 10 to 15 lines of code to do all this work. But I'm not doing all this work. All these means once go through with that array methods, what and all available, like binary search, sort, reverse, copy from one array to another array element. All these are available there. All these things are available there. Okay. Shall I move to next? Okay. Then the next concept is two-dimensional array. In this single dimensional array, how you are having the number of columns we are representing, right? Whereas in two-dimensional, we are representing the number of rows and columns both. The number of rows and columns both we are going to represent. Here, whether if it is row or a column, always it starts with 0. 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, like this. And in your 10th standard, you learn matrix, right? It's somehow like matrix type. What is the size of this means? First, you have to represent rows. After that, you have to represent columns, 2 by 3. In the same way, here, that means 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, let's see how to work with this. Add a class. And if I want to represent a two-dimensional array, int arr, this is correct, but in between this is a single dimensional array, right? In between this, if you specify comma, that is a two-dimensional array. Okay, then console.writeLine, how many rows and columns you want to enter. How many rows and columns you want to enter. And rows and columns, okay. Then int rows equal to convert dot to int 32 of console dot read line. And columns also int columns equal to this. Then I have to specify the array arr equal to new int of, first I have to specify rows, after that next I have to specify the columns. Now suppose if I give my row size as 2 and the column size as 3, my array will be created like this. And if you observe the values of this is f 0, comma 0. right? And this is a of 0 comma 1. That means always row will be represented first, after that column. A of 0 comma 2. And if I go to this, a of 1 comma 0 and a of 1 comma 1 and this a of 1 comma 2. Like this the representation will be. And if you observe the same thing, when I two loops are required because rows and columns two are there. So when I equal to 0, then j value will be 0, 1, 2. And when I equal to 1, j value will be 0, 1, 2. See, when I is always represent for rows, j is always represent for columns. When I value equal to 0, j value will be 0, 1, 2. And when I equal to 1, j value will be 0, 1, 2. Then only you will get all the elements, right? Now go back. Console.writeLine, enter elements, and for int I equal to 0, I less than rows, I plus plus. And this is how many times it will repeat from 0 to 2. I mean 0 to 2 means 0 to 1. Why? Because less than rows I gave. Okay. So again j loop for int j equal to 0, j is less than columns j plus plus. So this is how many times from 0 to 2. Actually 3, but less than I had given, that's why these many times. Now arr of I comma j is equal to convert dot to int 32 of console dot readline. That's it. All are done. Now all the elements I had taken. Now I want to print this list. I want to print this list. All the elements are taken and I want to print this list. How to print this list? Console.writeLine. The given list is, and I'm giving two loops and console.writeLine. Console.writeLine. I'm giving some gap. I won't use write line. I will use write. Console.write. I will give some gap plus arr of I comma j. Let me run this program. Some issue is there in this. I will first let me run this program, then we can see how we can resolve that. So loops demo, console demos, array demo 2. Run. How many elements? 2 rows, 3 columns. That means 6 elements I have to give. So how all are coming? All are coming in the same line. I don't like that. I want to display 11 to 33 in one line. After that 455 666 is in another line. How I have to do that? As I said, this is for rows and this is for columns, right? That means after one row printing is over, this is one row related all columns printing. Over, I'm saying move the cursor to next line. That's it. Now let's run. I will give 2 by 3. 11, 22, 30. Exactly 2 by 3 matrix it shows. Now if I give 3 by 1, see, 3 rows, 1 column. Yes, exactly it is shown. Right? So, any questions? See, again, I'm saying if any one of you are not understanding, please ask. Don't think about others. You paid the fee and you should understand what I'm saying. If anyone not clear, please ask. So let's move. Another important that is called Jagged arrays. In single dimensional array, in two dimensional array, if you observe, in single dimensional array, one row, multiple columns. In two dimensional array, two rows, multiple columns. I mean, sorry, number of rows and number of columns are there. Then what about this zagged arrays? How these zagged arrays will be? In this zagged arrays, how the memory representation is, it will be like this. First, we are specifying the number of rows only. We are not specifying the number of columns first. This is 0, 1, 2. The number of rows only in zagged arrays we are specifying. And each row contains different size of array. Here somewhere it may contain more, somewhere it may contain single or whatever it is. So zagged arrays, how it is going to work like this. That means each row is having their own size. Here in two dimensional array, if you observe 0th row, how many columns are there? In the first row also same number of columns, but in zagged arrays it's not like that. In 0th row, it may 3. In first row, it may 5. Or in second row, it may be 1. That's completely our wish. That's completely our wish. Okay. So again, I'm saying what is zagged arrays means. In zagged array, each row is having their own size of array. Each row is having their own size of array. Let's see how to do that. Come back to this. Add class. Array demo 3. Static void main. Then how to declare a zagged array? Int two separate brackets. It's not a single bracket, two separate brackets ARR. So first what I said, we have to know the size of these rows. Columns I'm not specifying, only rows. So console.writeLine, how many rows you want to enter? How many rows? And int rows equal to convert dot to int 32 of readline. I know how many rows. Now, after knowing the row size, ARR equal to new int of rows. I don't know about columns, so leave that as an empty. This is the representation of zagged. I don't know about columns, so I'm not giving anything. But rows, whatever I know, that row size I'm giving here. Next is what? The size I had given, the rows, everything. Now, because each row we are having our own size. Each row we are having our own size. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than rows, I plus plus. And each row separate column size is there. That's why I'm giving in for loop. Console.writeLine. How many elements you want to give in 0th row. That 0 place I want to give I plus 1. This syntax already we know. I mean in day 2 or day 3 session we discussed. In 0th place it will replace with that value. Now int columns equal to, yes, column size also I know. Now how many elements you want to enter? Columns also I know. Next one is what? I have to, because see here I gave 3. So the memory will be created like this with 3 locations. This is 0 and this is 1. This is 2. The memory will be represented like this 0, 1, 2. Okay. Now after doing this work, then each row how many elements you want. For example, for the first one I had given 3. First time I had given 3. Second time I had given 5. Third time I had given 2. Then after finishing this, first time 3, right? 3 locations. Second time 5, right? 5 locations. 2, 3. Third time is 2, right? So 2 locations. It's created like this. Okay. Now till now what you done? Only memory representation only you finished. So that memory representation also ARR of I is equal to new int of columns. That's it. That means each row is representing a separate array with whatever elements you had given. With that, a separate arrays are creating, and this is pointing to that array. See, whatever in the diagram I represented, the same code here is available. The rows and columns. Anyone is not clear, please ask. This is the diagram, and this is the code. If you want me to run this code also, I will run. Only the memory representation, no elements it's asking. That is demo 3, run. How many rows? 3. See, question how it is asking. How many elements you want to enter in first row? 3. How many elements you want to enter in second row? 5. How many elements you want to enter in third row? 2. That's it. Only memory representation is done. Next is what? I have to ask the elements. I have to store the elements, right? So I have to ask the elements. So again for loop, for int I equal to 0, I less than rows, I plus plus. Now console.writeLine, I have to ask elements now. Enter 0 elements in one row. In the place of 0, I want to, in the place of 0, I want to give ARR of I dot length, comma, in the place of 1, I want to give I plus 1. Why I gave all these things means my question should be more clear to end user. For int j equal to 0, j less than ARR of I dot length. Why ARR of I dot length? Because each row is having their own size. Each row is having their own size. Because of that reason, I'm giving this. So ARR of I j is equal to this. Now let me run this. I didn't print that list, just I want to show how it is asking. 3. Same I'm giving. 3, 5, 2. Now see how it is asking. Enter 3 elements in first row. That means my question is more clear to end user that how many elements he have to enter 11, 22, 33. Enter 5 elements in second row. Enter 2 elements in third row. Yes. See, my question is more clear that how many elements for each row the person have to enter, the customer have to enter, that I'm asking clearly. Okay, done. But I didn't print that list. How to print the list in arrays demo 2, how you printed the list, the same process I can use it here also. I is less than this. Columns, you shouldn't give columns. What you have to give? ARR of I dot length. That's it. And ARR of I, J, you have to give it. That's it. Remaining all are same. Now run. Same array I want to give. 3, 3, 5, 2. The memory representation exactly it is showing same how I explained. Now if you want me to show that diagram also, see, both are very clear. Whatever diagram I showed here, in the same format it is showing the list. 3 elements first row, 5 elements second row, 2 elements third row. Okay, but very rarely these Jagged arrays are going to be used. But you should know, as a developer, you should know how to use these Jagged arrays and all. You should know, as a developer, you should know how to use these Jagged arrays and all. But not so important, as well as you can't leave this topic also. When some situations came in your project to handle these types of arrays and all, then we will use. That's why I said at least syntax. That's why I didn't put more number of programs in arrays. But what is the syntax? How to declare a single dimensional, how to declare a two dimensional, how to declare a Jagged array. These three, as a developer, you should know. But maximum number of times we are going to use collections only. And some areas we have to use arrays also. So syntax and all you keep remember. And yesterday, as I said, from tomorrow's class onwards, we are going to start methods. Don't miss from tomorrow's class because regularly I'm saying only 4 people. So please don't miss the session from tomorrow. If you are missing, then oops concept will get a lot of confusion for you people. Okay, tomorrow and day after tomorrow method, and next immediately I will start oops concept. From oops concept onwards, each and everything is very important if you want to move further in .NET technology. Okay, okay then. Try to practice all these things already in notes also it's there. So no worries about that. Please practice all these things. See you in tomorrow's session. Okay, bye.
Ma'am, I have a small issue in the